Moody.
Thank you, Chairman Cassidy, and thank you to our witnesses for taking time to be here away from your families and jobs. This is an important hearing from our earliest beginnings as a nation. Access to education was seen as a fundamental bedrock for the sustainment of a republic governed by a free people. And our founders and subsequent generations knew that if we educated our populace, one endowed with virtue and knowledge, that was incredibly important to continue the fierce protection of our rights and our liberties and ensure the strength of this country from one generation to the next. And in time, it led to more Americans having access to education, to pursue college, improve not only their lives, but the lives of their children. And as a result, our nation, our economy, the prestige of our institutions of higher education grew too. However, in recent times, we've seen our institutions move away from or even fail in the original basic mission. Students are graduating with higher amounts of debt, with degrees that are sometimes not even useful. In some cases, they even have a disdain for the very principles and ideals needed to continue this great experiment in self-government. Further across the country, colleges and universities in many instances have failed in their duty to protect students from harm and to foster intellectual debate and growth of availability of ideas. Instead, they've, as we have seen play out in the media time and time again, they have allowed protests to erupt in violence, buildings to be overrun, all while our tuition across the nation continues to rise. In Florida, we have shown that this does not have to be the case. In fact, we undertook very aggressive efforts to ensure that our students were protected, and at the same time, we've made sure that we are demanding higher education funding is tied to performance, guaranteeing accountability and outcome improvement. I would like to brag on our own FIU that received an A from the Anti-Defamation League in combating anti-Semitism, as our state continues to make strides to ensure our students are not only equipped for success in the workforce, but also equipped to live full civic lives in this country. In innovation, my alma mater, the University of Florida, the champions of the basketball world are coming to Washington today. Go Gators. They're helping to lead this nation in AI development. And finally, our colleges and universities, whether it's the University of Central Florida, the University of North Florida, or Florida Tech, they're cooperating with local employers and partnerships to ensure their curriculum evolves with workforce needs, leading to more successful outcomes for students. And with that said, I would like to turn to our witnesses for a few questions. And I'd like to start with Dr. Lindsay. You've acknowledged the role of higher education and how it plays in the formation of the individual and instilling virtue along with the sense of a civic and societal responsibility grounded in faith and community. And I believe these are traits that we are sorely missing today. However, at the same time, with efforts to bring advanced manufacturing back to the U.S., we need to ensure that our students are equipped to meet the job requirements, not only that are in demand right now today, especially as this administration is really bolstering American businesses and bringing those jobs back, but also the demands of the job markets of the future. How do you view the relationship between the two societal needs? Do you believe that they are in tension, or through your work and experience, is there a way to meet both the needs without sacrificing one or the other?
At Taylor, we certainly believe that you can instill a sense of civic-mindedness, a service over self, and at the same time preparing students for the jobs that might be out there. I mean, the interesting thing is that 2/3 of my freshmen will pursue careers that have not yet been invented. So we need to have a degree of intellectual agility. The liberal arts idea that Senator Kim was mentioning is what actually prepares them for a dynamic workplace environment. At Taylor, we've certainly found that our students can marry a commitment of civic-mindedness and developing virtue, and at the same time getting the intellectual and professional development that will serve them well, not just for the first job they take, but for the rest of their lives, being contributing members to their communities, to their professions, and for the wider world.
And if balance is possible, what are some steps that other universities and colleges could take now to meet the approach that you're taking, but ensure there is balance there?
I mentioned how important I think it is for us to be really committed to loving our hometowns. And that's a simple way in which you can get students involved with both volunteering through local nonprofits, but also interning to solve problems that the private sector has in your local community. It gives students professional experience, but also deep engagement in their local community.
So you heard it, Chairman Cassidy. We have to learn to love our hometown, including DC.
Somehow I think Dr. Lindsay is a sociologist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just coming through, man, just coming through. When the Major General makes these guys do push-ups behind him, we'll have him declare it.